It's like hell in a cell inside the building. It's hard to get in, and you get locked up very easily. And that seems to be where Bleed, they thrive as a defending team. And guess what? It gets worse. Bleed starts on defense, and the fan vote is going back and forth. Bleed started being the favor for map number 1. Second map, CAG were favored, and now we're back to Bleed on 63% from the fans here on Consulate. And to be fair, if you start defense on Cafe, and you start defense on Consulate, you are having the most fun of your life right now if you're Bleed.
Oh, Anaton, you liar.
He did lie. How dare he?
He said it wouldn't be Monty, and guess what? It was Monty.
I mean, I respect the fact that CAG are banning it on this map because we did see how well Bleed played the Monty the first time these two teams squared off. But we also, I kind of want to see something new from Cyclops. They're doing a lot of the same stuff in the upper ban phase, not really targeting anything specific. And in the in-game rounds as well, it seems like CAG, they have a couple of ideas. But when something doesn't stick for 2 rounds in a row, they're like, okay, now what? So while they have been building up their strat folder and their adaptability, of course, it's still early days for them. They can only go so far and so deep into that strat, but because it hasn't been built up over that long of a time period, Bleed will start again on the favorable side of defense. They go downstairs to the basement first. CAG on the problem-solving field right now. And I'm trying to catch the in-game banter here. And it's the most, like, calm and relaxed conversation in-game ever. Because then we saw, like, Dark Zero G2 earlier, and they were talking some mad smack to one another. This is very friendly, very family-friendly as well. I appreciate these guys. They're very wholesome.
Yeah, is that?
Kill them with kindness, you know?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. All right, I'm in the basement. Let's go back to yesterday. We'll talk about the bomb site rotations that we saw on Consulate. CAG started on defense. They went to Garage first. When Bleed defended first, they went to Console Office upstairs before switching to Garage next. So, watch and see how these sites unfold. All 4 bomb sites on Consulate do tend to get played if teams have a comfort level. At least a decent understanding of it, and given that it ended up being the map yesterday, and we're showing it again, I'd imagine that,
yeah,
similar state here.
Oh, you'd expect that. I will say that CAG very spread thin across the lineup here. Chibisu just doesn't know what's happening around him. Right, he gets shot the wall, gets injured by the goo mine. He was 0-7 on Cafe, and now with this death, maybe not. He's still alive.
Oh.
Wait a second.
Asfi will get the finish. There you go.
Yep. In the last 8 rounds, Chibisu has gotten 0 kills and 8 deaths. And he's Sledge here. Normally, that would be a cause of panic because he's dead. But Blacker is smart. He brought a backup soft vertical destroyer in the Ram operator. They can still get the job done inside a piano, get those vertical lines to the floor towards the bomb site, but it's still a long road here in the first round for Cyclops. They have no easy way in, but might not need it because Hoven, he eagerly swings the breach and gets shut down immediately.
So back to even footing is now. Next attempt will be walking into that breach. Black Ray still has 2 of those booby drones for Ram. Suzu attempting the plant but falls off of it. There goes Arcali as smoke rains out. And they're actually just using the boogie drones to conceal the sound. Black Ray's tossed 2 of them in. Suzu's been dropped though and will crawl into the smoke and ultimately die. Cyclops getting the diffuser down. They've only got 2 players remaining though. Could it be a Pyrrhic victory for them? Oh, Bleed's not moving a muscle. They're not going for it at all. There they do. They line up. Black Ray finishing him off. Asfi trying to keep their attention outside, playing around it. And he sees one. His Mentalist hops on the diffuser.
Okay.
He's going for the counter disable. Shut down at the last second. And CAG wins it in the post plant.
I mean, I respect Asfi going for that flank, Don't go out the yellow door, just fly out the window and run around instead. And I will say, CAG, that was a heroic planned effort, and I cannot believe it went down. Yeah, the boogie drones went out, they made a lot of noise, but the red ping and yellow ping was there on the defense. I feel like they could have shut down that plant either from above in piano or by swinging through those smoke grenades. Maybe they thought that CAG had a glass in the board that could see through the smokes, but we know that they did not. Trucks are able to go out as well, but it didn't do enough damage in time to shut down the plant attempt. And the post plant, unlike on Cafe in that first round, was actually great. You can play outside the building, outside that good old breach from far, far back, and shut down any attempt at a counter defuse. CAG, they needed that round desperately, especially after losing Chibisu early, playing from that 4 versus 5 position, but evening the numbers pretty early on because Hoven was not paying respects to the breach being opened up. And that can easily be your downfall. You win a 7-0 game. It was oh so easy. You get a bit of an ego. You get a bit of overconfident. And then you go for plays that you don't necessarily need to be making in those rounds. Bleed, go from downstairs all the way to the top floor of CEO instead and change things around. And this side is more about holding on to map control. You see the shields being put down on the admin visa all the way up top floor. And that's usually the #1 area of the map, on the east side at least. And then likewise, on the west, you have the yellow staircase as well. That's the other crucial spot to be holding on towards. That's where Hogan has put down those Fenrir gadgets, the barbed wire, etc. as well. It's the only real ways into the bomb site here for the attack inside. We saw Mentalist with the exact same upper lineup last time these two teams played. Is him on Tashanga. Has the fire, can shut down the CO window plant and stop them in a rush. The Twitch drone getting so much value. Fenrir gadget gone. Goyo fire canister gone as well. So now yellow stairs much weaker for the taking now. It could be an angle for CAG later in this round. They did do it last time, so if the prep work from Bleed has been made, they should be expecting this. Nade is primed and ready. But so many different informations here. Yellow pings, red pings, sound, etc. Nade goes out. It does a little bit of damage. It doesn't confirm the kill.
Just missing out on Mentalist, doing a little bit of damage. Setting hot breach. Now Suzu will open things up ever closer to that projector bomb site. Chanka was brought by Mentalist in yesterday's matchup, if you recall. Yeah. It's also the same first 2 bomb sites that were played by Bleed. Black Ray and Arcali are not too far removed from one another. Black Ray down beneath the bomb site. Half of the round expired at this point. Chibisu still searching for his first kill in about an hour or so. Asfi dies to Arcali. So Cyclops will get on the board first. Arcali not even taking any points of damage at the moment. Still have adrenal surges from Chibisu, all 3 to be used, so got an ability to get yourself right back up. Shumiga launcher, fire out some of those fire bolts, those Molotovs. Mentalist taking some damage in the process as the bees are unleashed by Suzu as well. Arcali dies. That's, I guess, what you get as a reward for the very first pick for your team.
I like the Tashanga play here to deny the CO repel position. It's very innovative, I would say. And the thing is, we know the yellow side is kind of weakened from the defense because all that utility was cleared out earlier by the Twitch drone. So Menzel is doing a great job of keeping back the defenders, and Reeves plays really well off that angle.
They're keeping it even as the fire will continue to go. Now it's Cyclops to walk in, or repel in, get that diffuser down. Anaton with another kill as he circles around through the smoke, but Mentalist wins it, and now it's the bees. It's Suzu to try and clutch, but he can't get it done. 4 kills for Turd through those 2 rounds.
Oh boy, and it's again the same scenario where the Tashanga buff to the gun doing 60 damage now instead of 49, really shining through for Bleed and for Mentalist. Because yesterday, the exact same execute happened from the side of Cyclops. It's the bees, Grim on the C repel, throws out the bees, rappels on in, tries to go for the plant. And Mentalist, in that pretty much 1 versus 2, finds the cover and then finds the plant shortly after. This time, it was a shotgun player of Mute who got that kill instead. Great coordination from Bleed. That's what I was talking about earlier. They're great at setting up that disciplined crossfire. There's a fire coming out from Mentalist, Reap swinging off it. They get a 1-for-1 trade, and they kept trading in even numbers, keeping the bomb site relatively safe in their favor. Cyclops, they keep losing 1 man relatively early to not really anything. Just an overstep or a misstep, should I say. But they need all members alive for those executes to go their way.
It's the exposition room, aka piano, That, once again, was the third site that Bleed went to, so they are
Same
following
thing.
a very similar rotation. Obviously, they've swapped out Garage and Console Office. But, yeah, I mean, I guess things are similar enough, and it doesn't really surprise us at all.
No.
Pulse being brought by Turd down below.
Calibrate compression. All set.
Gotta get that intel. Turd yeah.
Turd stuff.
Saw a citizen wished him happy birthday with a turd emoji. So he also plays the meme.
It's kind of rude.
Yeah, you know, there's a smiley face on it, so it was a happy turd. If you will.
Of course.
Of course.
Well, that makes it all the better then, doesn't it?
Yeah, smiley faces have a big impact on the context of the message, I would say.
Anderson with 5 kills so far, competing against Turdstow with 4. Just through 2 rounds, that's quite impressive. GB no kills through 9 rounds so far. It might even be longer than that. If we go back to round number 1, I can't remember the last time GB got a kill in map 1.
We got some, we know that much. See you again, CG. I like that they're taking their time, not really, again, risking anyone dying early. Using their drone intel, only lost 2 so far, reaching from lobby towards that piano area of the bomb site. So they get some lines of sight, some pressure. It's gonna force a response and Bleed, rotating around, establishing a crossfire again. Ashby rather, from bottom spiral stairs. Gonna help Mentalist here on the bomb site. He's the anchor player, pretty much alone though. And the vertical control is still favoring Bleed. They can see most things from above. It's down to CAG to find a weak spot or a blind angle. And they got smokes to work with. They could do this, actually.
Turds has got that Nitro Cell primed and ready. Still in back pocket. As explosives will go both ways. GB tossing out the nade as it blows up some of the floor. Now it's Reaps to be the first to die for Bleed in this round. Aniton continuing the good work that he's done so far on Consulate. His team relying on him to get a lot of these kills, and oh my goodness, another on a Mentalist. Turd still using that C4 to punish Suzu. Hoven now, looking to capitalize off of that goo mine, and fortunately pulls trigger a little bit too early. Now it's a nice yourself to go, but GBC's died to Aspie, still searching for his first kill. What a mess this round is. Black Ray giving an advantage back to Cyclops, as it's Aspie and Hoven. Hoven.
Chaotic round.
Oh my, Aniton taking some damage to Hoven. Arcoli now softened up too. Arcoli and Black Ray both quite low. Bullet or 2 will be all it needs. Arcoli, you didn't even just see the Valkyrie there. Aspie last alive, a nice play, and he's got both of them with so little HP. Bleed get 2 in a row and take the lead.
It was constant action for a minute and 30 seconds straight. There's a back and forth for both teams, and it really comes down to the pulse downstairs, getting the C4 kill to shut down the plant and buy Bleed enough time to retake through Yellow Staircase in toward Piano. And again, the intel game is excellent. The Valkyrie cams, constant yellow and red pings, they play well off the information, and Cyclops, it could not stabilize in that round. And it's again, it boils down to very simple things. Where is the IQ to counter Valkyrie? One operator can make a huge difference in these rounds. And yeah, Aniton playing the Twitch last round with the DMR, did a great job at denying some of the utility, but didn't find the cameras. That was an issue for them later on. We gotta keep talking about it, I guess. Chibisu really having a hard time, and when we watch him and spectate him in first person, we can tell he doesn't look all that comfortable. He's kind of just walking around, looking the wrong direction, not really being a cohesive unit with the rest of his team. So I think if you are Cyclops and able to identify that Chibisu was having a rough game, putting him on a support operator, which is drone, and support his teammates instead of being an entry or a second entry might be the way forward. Now Chibisu is back on Finka, where yeah, you got grenades and adrenal searches, but if he keeps dying early in the round, you're not going to be able to utilize any of that at any point in the round. They go back downstairs with a very similar lineup, the mirror window, the smoke canisters, etc. But what they want is a different result. Last time they let Cyclops plant that bomb and play post-plant successfully, and it's how they got their first and so far only round victory.
Drones going in and immediately being shot out as the discovery phase continues for Cyclops. They open up that garage panel quite easily, as there go logic bombs as well. So an early expenditure of utility from Cyclops to try and pin down these players from Bleed. Don't know how successful ultimately they've been. Turdstra roaming from above. He gets spotted by the drone. Now it's Black Ray to die to Asphy. Bleed getting on the board first is a good sign. Could propel them to a third round in a row, and there's Reaps with another almost getting Chibisu as well. Finka immediately vaulting out and using the very first Adrenal Surge is, well, not much of a surprise.
And it's just Reaps, he's everywhere right now since Cafe. Always roaming with that SMG-11 in hand, looking for blood, looking for kills. Usually finding at least one. He goes back upstairs, drops to the bottom spiral, looking for more. Got the C4 in pocket as well. And it's CAG again. They got a problem solve. They need to make all the first moves right now, but they're locked outside of the main areas. And Chibisu, he's done it. He's gotten his first kill in, what, 10 rounds. He's on the board, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, now he wants more. And there it is. The yellow ping, a second volley. He is back in action, baby.
Fire on all cylinders as Chibisu picks up 2. And there goes another Adrenal Surge, just giving him more HP in the process. The drones will meet their maker at the bottom of the stairs as the mute jammers block that signal and prevent them gaining further information. So instead, the focus for Cyclops with 1 minute remaining is to blow open as much of the floor and use that with your own eyes.
Minute to go. 3 versus 3. Attackers still very much in this one. They got smoke grenades, as well as flashbangs. There's only a mirror window in their way right now. Bit of vertical construction buff could, of course, render it useless. Open. C4 in pocket as well. Could deny the plant if they attempt and go for it. Gotta go soon, though. Time is ticking down, but they want to ensure that everybody's in the right position to go for this. Where does Chibisu go? Is it going to be the flank or is it going to be yellow stairs? Because they gotta play together.
Oh, the answer is more caliber-based destruction, isn't it?
Okay.
Removing one of those bulletproof cameras as here come the smokes out of pocket from Aniton. Attacker smokes, not the other way around. 1 gas canister for Mentalist will go on to the opening with only 10 seconds left. There's gonna be some damage done as the Nitro Cell connects with Suzu. Chibisu dies, and Aniton, in a vain attempt, will sit amidst the smoke. Getting eerily close to pulling it off, but bailing off at the last second, and Bleed will find their 3rd round in a row.
Beautiful utility use there by Bleed. The smoke goes out, denying the entry, and they think, okay, what if they're already past the smoke? We're gonna run through it in just a second. C4 gets tossed out, perfect timing, denies the plan to the moment he gets in through that breach, and they also get to confirm that, yes, they were indeed inside the bomb site. They are looking for that play. You guys can't see it, but Reeves just said, I owned you, Arcoli, in chat. And again, it's such nice disrespect. I owned you, Arcoli. There's no, yeah, nice flick, not gonna lie. Look at this. He says, I own you. Yeah, nice flick, by the way. That's that 1600 DPI. Like, it's the most wholesome trash talk I've ever witnessed. And that stinky mousepad. L. Oh boy. I mean, he's not wrong. It is a bit cursed. But this is Bleed very much in the driver's seat. They got a good read in these situations, and they're just gonna go through these 3 bomb sites. Basement into top floor. Actually, they did play, yeah, basement, yeah, definitely. I'm trolling myself. Basement to CO into lobby.
10 seconds remaining.
Back top floor right now. Deshaun gets that stable pick to deny things. Now also joined by Goyo like last time. There's Twitch. That was the counter play from Cyclops, but will not be seen playing this round. Instead, the Glass coming out with the Grim. So they're cooking something else up this round for CAG. They're changing it around.
I do like the changes, but again, we always see these changes in isolation. Gridlock's pick rate has continued to creep up and up and up as we have watched these teams play, and the big reason for that are the grenades being added to her kit. Yana has effectively disappeared, by the way.
Just like that.
So it just goes to show you how important grenades are. Sledge falling off, Yana falling off, now teams running with soft destruction in the hands of other operators. It's also worth noting that Gridlock brings a super shorty. Now, it's not the best gun for soft destruction because you only get 3 shots with it before you have to reload. But in a pinch, it can work quite effectively at destroying walls and floors, and we've seen Gridlocks use it time and time again.
It's just a very flexible operator. It gives you so much value. And speaking of new operator presence, Grim as well, getting a higher and higher pick rate, specifically in Brazil in Stage 2. Played almost everything around on maps like Cafe, often on Constellate as well. Will be played this round on that CEO repelled Suzu, looking for that initial canister to shoot out. Chibisu, fish with grenades. Here's the running footsteps up above, but he's oh so fast, running away from that soft destruction. He doesn't find anything. No point of damage done, but it's Reeves again with the opening kill. This time onto Black Ray. He's gonna slow things down from CAG.
Sounded like one set of track stingers were going off. I couldn't tell, depending on the utility that was used, whether you got a lot of value out of that. But one set of nades down, the last remaining grenade in the hands of Chibisu, and it's good enough to get Hogan. Now Suzu will vault in, same spot to go for the plant as before. This has been tried time and time again, and it just does not work out. But Arcoli and Aniton able to get on the board across from Mentalist does not work. Asfi last alive in a 1v3. 1 minute to go. Hear the sound of that dread mine going off. Somebody choking on the Fenrir gas. Asfi will push up. Diffuser needs to be retrieved, and Asfi's given his position away. 40 seconds left. Tears through Chibisu and also evades the glass. Looking for more, have to reload as Arcoli comes into the rescue and just, I mean, at that point, desperate times call for desperate measures, and desperation was definitely the name of the game for CAG. They win their second round, the lead still bleeds.
And it didn't really matter that Glass was in that round or not because it wasn't utilized in the execute, so to speak, but Cyclops did make a small adaptation that did have a pretty big impact on what happened in that round. It was the off-pace, like out-of-sync planned attempt. Last time, it was Suzu rappelling in last in a 2 versus 2, trying to go for the plant. This time, Suzu was first in the building, started planting with no cover whatsoever. And sure, Reeves sprinted across CEO and shut him down, but there was a trade-off. Glass plus someone else instead of a small box next to CEO, and they got 2 or 3 kills off of that play. So while they don't play for the diffuser going down, they did trade 1 death for the cost of 3 kills. It's very much worth it for them. And you can just kind of stabilize like they did, rotate another one, use the CO window, grapple in and try it again. Bleed. They're going to go back-to-back on bomb sites, same operator lineup. That normally indicates that something didn't go the way they planned for. Once again, they got caught off guard by surprise. They didn't expect that off-place attempt from Suzu. But now they also know they love that Grim and CO repel. They brought the glass and yellow stairs last time. They might need to change some of the utility around or player positions because no one's really applying pressure across the map. It's a very one-sided push from CAG, and it can be stopped from Bleed if they rotate their players accordingly.
Yep. Good way of putting it. Attacking this upstairs bomb site now, second time. You bring a different group of tools at your disposal, but Bleed likes this operator lineup on defense. I will say, I don't know how influential the Tachanka has been on this defense, and I know that might sound like sacrilege to some people, but at the end of the day, there might be a more suitable operator. I assume that the Tachanka's goal is to go for the bank shots. Chibisu, who had a bad previous game, but is now suddenly playing much better, breaks even at 5-5, getting the leadoff pick on the Reaps, who wanders towards admin and has no idea whatsoever where he should be looking.
Would have been a great grenade, but the idiots let her catch it instead, so it doesn't go off. And Reeves peeked very aggressively towards admin, got shot down immediately. It's a bit of a surprising push because they must have thought there was nobody there. A back and forth trade, Arcoli gets Aspi, but also Blackbeard goes down to the gas of Hoven. So now, still favoring CAG in the 4v3. But this is a different push. No longer about yellow staircase to CO. It's all about admin office and Visa. So a complete 180 attack here. Great adaptation from Cyclops. And it's caught Lead off guard entirely. Mentalist rotates that deployable shield onto Shanga. They're now waiting. Half the round to go. CAG trying to stabilize. Get that second wave of drones up. There's only 2 left remaining on the board for them. They have almost no intel to work with. If Lead simply hide in some corners, that could very easily punish them because they have no intel to work with. They're going dry peek in every single angle.
Well, still a good sign for Cyclops with just a minute to go. Patience from Bleed with still some utility. A plant, not a lot though, Nick. If you look at it, only 1 gas canister from Hoven, no nitro cell from Turdsta. You're basically relying on Mentalist at this point.
Yeah, with 20 streamer launcher shells, that's a lot of fire for a very long duration.
Flash goes out by Arcoli as there looks like a follow-up will unfold. Last gas goes out with 30 seconds remaining, so you know when the push will come in. That's the final 15 seconds. Anaton with 9 kills to his name. It's Suzu with 0 at this point, doing his Chibisu impression. Hoven swings! Turnsta gets in as well, and now it's Anaton alone in a 1v3. He'll catch the smoke. His position given away, though, at this point, and he's winning these duels with 11 kills. All he needs is Mentalist, who just has to play keep away, but Mentalist takes the engagement anyway. What a mad lad. First half goes to Bleed 4-2.
Way too close a conf for a phenomenal play from Hoven. I mean, what a save, the shotgun swing, swap to the secondary SMG-11, get the second kill as well, the follow-up, but then things, they fall apart. Anaton with 2 quick kills back-to-back, puts it down to a 1 versus 1. But it could have been a tied series, 3-3, goes 4-2 instead in favor of Bleed. And they need that, because now they go onto the attacking side, and this time, one big key thing has changed. There is no Munty available for Bleed. When they played against each other yesterday, it was all about Munty being played every single round for Bleed. Mentalist, Hoven, Turnsta, all 3 players took their turns with Munty, and it worked out more often than that. Is how they found their attacking round victories. It's gone now. And yeah, you can try and something with Blitz maybe on Osa, but it's just not the same. So Bleed, they're forced into a more conventional style of playing Consulate with quote-unquote normal gun-based operators, but one thing I think that favors them, they love playing the IQ. So if Valkyrie or Echo gets brought out by Cyclops, they have no reason not to just bring Turnsta onto that operator of IQ, because he tends to do it every single time it's needed. So CAG were missing themselves. Where a Pulse or a Valkyrie was brought out, they could not find the cameras. So Bleed's difficulties should lie elsewhere. One thing will stay the same though for these 2 teams. They both start in the basement. And I think it's a great place to start. You have less things to worry about. You only have to worry about the basement floor itself and the singular floor above it. Top floor is just this kind of like unknown territory where you don't have to worry about it unless you're roaming very deeply across the bomb site. That's not the case right now. To Bleed, they gotta make their advance, approach the building, get those drones out and choose where are they going to be entering from. But Blackray, he lost that run out the meeting balcony. Hasn't found anything so far, because everybody from Bleed are playing very safe up on the roof, going down that yellow skylight. There's a present roam up top floor. So they're gonna meet each other soon enough. Owen's actually going basement instead, surpassing the roam. He's past the enemy lines here, gets a jammer as well, expecting somebody here on the yellow staircase, but we know, well, there's no one here.
Yeah, not as quick of an entry as we might have come to expect. So now Bleed will themselves possibly have some attacker-sided struggles. Reaps had a very good start, but has cooled off since then. It's been a team effort. Almost everybody on the attacking side of Bleed with 5 kills to their name. Hoven gets 1 on Anaton. That was the star of the previous round. But they lose Asfi first. So Bleed suffering the first blow, though it is a trade. Neither team at a big advantage. But if you trade the mute for the gridlock, I would say the gridlock in this instance is more valuable.
Being a little bit players, right? Anaton 11 kills, Asfi on 5, so there's many ways to break that down, but I do agree with you. The utility that the gridlock provides for this particular round.
What an operator. I wanted just an unbelievable operator.
It's so simple, yet so effective and so noisy as well. But Blackray with the rotations, he's got the flank unlocked, doesn't find anything, that runs back down the Visa staircase. Says, you know what, I tried something, didn't work out. I'm gonna go back and play with my teammates and utilize that 4v4 position, because if you die here on the roam, you put your team in a less than favorable spot in that 4 versus 3 that would be. Still 45 seconds to go though. Self-destruction very quickly dealt with because Ram is on the board here. It's Turnsta doing the damage. Now they got into the building as well.
Yeah, just a huge amount of soft destruction. Arkley watching long range. As Reaps holds on to that diffuser, where do you go next? Bleed cannot get bogged down in this. They will ultimately stall out unless there's something they can do. Suzu still without a kill. Down goes Reaps. That's the diffuser surrendered. Mentalist doing some damage, not before being finished off himself by Suzu, who gets on the board. Hoven and Turnsta, last 2 remaining. Flashes go out, but the clock is not your friend at this point. They'll race down in the same position, but Cyclops just slaughtering them, and the clock will give the round to Cyclops even if the bullets don't. CAG within 1 of tying the game.
And this is exactly where the lack of Muncie becomes an issue for Bleed. Normally, if Muncie was open there, they can just walk in the breach, walk in yellow door, and start getting down a plant or force the defenders, out of their comfortable corners by, pushing them away with the Muncie. That's not possible any longer. So they just sit far back on Cyclops and then wait for the execute, and it never really arrives. There's no smoke grenades. There's no OSEN plate. There's no glass. There's no easy way into that breach of yellow door. They're completely locked out. So, if you're Bleed now, you can't just play fully objective unless you change your operators around for, again, like the OSA, the Blitz, the Glass, something like that, because Ying is banned out. So you kind of need to play for kills. You need to build yourself an advantage somewhere, and the only way to do that simply right now is simply in man count. The basement, it's hard to do that. Console is a very big map, a ton of different rooms. We saw Black Ray running across the map with rotates everywhere. So hard to catch him. You lose the opening engagement as one side of Visa. You're already playing from a man down early on if you're Bleed. With Gridlock, Ashby falling previously. Bombsite goes upstairs instead though. You can play off the repels, play on the yellow skylight, play off the spiral skylight as well. If you don't want to enter the building, you don't have to right now. Not at least to begin things off with. But eventually, you gotta get in. Otherwise, you can't get that diffuse down or even attempt to do it. Bleed, again, they bring that stable lineup. One big difference here, the IQ instead, but there's no real gadgets to find of value. Maybe the Grisma minus Melon, you don't get caught by surprise when entering a door, but besides that, no camera, simply.
So that first track stinger goes down to prevent a run out from that yellow door, by the way. I don't know if you witnessed that. But, I mean, if you're going to bring a Nomad and a Gridlock, which some teams do, in this case the lineup only has a Gridlock on it, no Nomad included. Might as well use one of those track stingers to prevent a run out, especially if you're going to go with any kind of vertical play, right? If you're going to hang on the windows. And Consulate, before its rework, used to be defined by that vertical play. Now, in this case, things are a bit more standard. It's a bigger map. It's easier to enter, which means that you don't have to necessarily worry about being cut down from a run out or a jump out, though they still do happen.
Drop the skylight, and drop the hatch as well. So Bleed the advance throughout top portion of the map, and it looks like CAG, they've mostly fallen off this top portion of the map, which is surprising because it's only been 1 minute and 20 seconds into the live action of the round. But maybe a yellow retake. We see 3 members creeping on up, looking for a play, but the line stops them immediately. So if Bleed don't have intel here, might be in for a surprise. Track Stingers are of course gonna alert the attackers if they get shot or meleeed out. Radicality though, what's on the table? It's mostly Hoven here with soft breaching charges, or the secondary shotgun from Aston and the Gridlock. But the bomb set's right below them, and it's mostly clear. If they figure this out, they can just go for a plant.
It's another nade tossed on down now as well. Aspie used all of the track stingers at this point. So much secondary utility being done, and I really like the fact that we are seeing all this soft destruction being brought on this map. It's very purposeful. Reaps outdueled by Suzu on the stairs, shotgun in hand. Suzu, only 2 kills so far. Hard to argue their importance over the last 2 rounds. Now it's Anatun to continue to add to the tally that has reached 12 kills. Cyclops yet to suffer a loss. Mentalist and Hoven, the only 2 remaining for Bleed.
They're falling apart. I mean, why does Reaps go down the yellow staircase before the teammates are ready for an execute? Like, they got the vertical control, they're top floor, but they don't get to execute whatsoever. Now they're locked out. It's a crossfire established here. A trade, surely. No. Not yet.
Oh. Mentalist, the last one left to toil now inside a piano.
15 seconds to go.
Bullet tracers to go by.
10 seconds.
It's effectively over at this point. A nice pick on Anatun, but ultimately completely impactless. Tie game. CAG win 2 in a row on defense.
I'm not really feeling these Bleed attacks right now, and it might just be, again, the Monty crouch worked out last time, but a good ban here from Cyclops stops him from doing it again. Bleed will call timeout, and I think this is exactly where you go. You're back tied in round score, it's 4-4. You're gonna end up on the attacking side until this game ends, unless you go to overtime. So, they gotta figure out the problems right now, and the good thing is, CAG won the last 2 rounds, basement and CO defense. They can pretty much guess with like an 85% likelihood the next bomb set is gonna be, wait, I'm trolling my notes again. They played lobby, didn't they? There was just lobby that was played. So, they played lobby. So they can expect it to be a top floor hold here from the side of CAG, because that Archives Taylor is not really played all that often. And just say, okay guys, let's focus on this next round, build that 1-round lead, get the 5-4, and then go from there. Because right now it's all about the next round in isolation. It's the third map of the best of 3. Energy levels are going to be a little bit lower. Players are going to be a little bit more exhausted, especially if you are the IGL, the in-game leader, making all these calls and decision-making and problem-solving. The longer a series goes on for, the more mentally draining it becomes, and the less energy you got in the reserve to make those hard decisions. So, it's a great spot right now for the coach to step in and say, guys, listen, I know it's rough, this is a situation we gotta deal with, these are the weaknesses, the issues at hand. Work on that, start from there. We immediately see Hoven go on to the Nuke for the first time this entire series for any of these two teams to play this operator, but likewise from Cyclops, also bringing out the Goyo, bringing out the Mute, slowing things down even more. They're expecting a fast play somewhere, or at the very least, they want a ton of different deny for the possibility of a fast take. Not gonna be easy for Bleed. But if Hoven could go for a flank in the mid-round with the Nuke and find an angle somewhere, create an issue, distraction, some chaos in the server, that could be the way forward for Bleed, because right now, if you're Cyclops, everything looks pretty predictable. You know, you play basement, they go for their own clear. That's understandable. You play lobby, they go top floor. That's pretty expectable as well. The Nuke could be the one deciding factor for the surprise effects. See where he goes first, though. Right now, the drone network is towards the admin side of things. Reach will drone it over the window and take it himself. It's an isolated effort right now. No real help from him. He might not need it. Nate goes out, Rappel on in, so he has no intel here, but he gets inside the building single-handedly, not using any of his teammates' resources.
As this matchup has gone long, this match has gone long, I should say. It has already gone long. Even if we did break ahead with that 7-0 on second map.
Yeah.
Teams are taking themselves far more seriously. It's far more practiced, and I really appreciate that amongst them. The way these two squads have played, I don't really want to say goodbye to either of them at this point, but unfortunately we have no choice but to do that. Ooh. Down goes Suzu to Hoven. Nade thrown out. Lose the Mute. 2 good rounds from Suzu, but back to dead early.
It's a good nade. The yellow pings are still active in there, but there's no nades left, at least not from Hoven. As he's got them on the gridlock, but the issue is normally that player character in his different position. Shield gets taken out though for Blackberry, and he takes a bit of damage as well, so all of a sudden the strong fortified position is weakened and vulnerable. All we gotta do now is walk into that lower confidence or just toss up more nades from below.
Chibisu is dead there. Asfi's nade, Bleed's advantage growing. Oh, such a pain. You can't take advantage of this, but there's Hoven again. Down goes Blackgray.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Nook still looking for more. First Goyo canister to break in front of him. Anaton slaughtered. Hoven with 3. A 4th as well. Arcali says no, that's more than enough. Quite aggressive himself. Multiple targets lined up, but you can only hit a single one. Turds to getting the final kill, and it's Bleed to go back on the lead.
That's exactly what I want to see after a tactical timeout. Small change in operators, small change in approach, go back to a very methodical kind of expected playstyle. Go below on a top floor attack, toss out the grenades, try and fish for that kill, clear out the utility, and then go for the kills together in that 3-2-1. And sure, most of the action that round came down from a single player from Bleed. Hoven on the Nuke, finding 3 kills, 1 with a grenade, and some damage, and 2 kills with the gun. But all you need on console typically is just that initial foothold in the door. Once you get in, you're flying, you're going, things are going well for you. But getting in initially is the difficult task. The thing is though, if the Nuke starts working out and it becomes predictable, again, it's up to adapting on the fly, time and time again. No Nuke so far. Leader going through the attacker repick right now, and Maverick being brought up by Turks is extremely surprising on this lobby bomb site because, sorry, basement bomb site should I say. Again, the outline's deceiving me now this time. Because it's not like the basement breach has been an issue so far. No Kaid, no Bandit, just the Mute. You don't necessarily need a Maverick anywhere, unless of course you want to go for that backside take that could be the angle instead. Send Mentors and A's on the front side, open up the main breach, send Turnstile and Maverick on the backside from like the Visa Archives area. Go for a split take on basement. This is kind of like when console first got reworked, this is how most people kind of envisioned this bomb set to play out. You get the main breach open up with a thermite on Ace or Ivana. You have one guy just left outside of there holding this open angle, who's like make the bomb site feel small. Then you send 4 people to like first floor or the back side of archives, and you have a front-to-back attack all of a sudden. The issue is what we see right here. The rotations, the soft destruction of the ceilings, the first floor is very difficult to roam clear. So we often see stuff like what Turks is doing right now. Just go straight for basement and look for that kill and look at that. You mimic a circle, you're walking in, you hold an angle. In Chibisu, yes, he went for the pre-fire, but it's him who ends up in the grave. And that right there pays off massively for Bleed. They get the kill, they get a bit of map control, and they're forcing movement now from CG to rotate around the map and change their positions around.
Good thing for Chibisu is that gadgetry will persist even if the Fenrir themselves are dead.
It's true.
Got a lot of persistent gadgetry, actually. Mute. The one that you don't have access to is Smoke. As Legion and Mira will both also have their gadgets persist. 2 Reaps. What a shot from above. Punishing Black Ray. His goo mines will still be felt. Anaton guarding the Mute Jammer on yellow stairs. With that shotgun will usually be good enough for 1 kill, but you gotta find somebody to wander in that direction first as you attack this garage. Right now it looks like Bleed's focus isn't even on that part of the map. That could be especially troubling, but Hoven decides, you know what, I'm gonna go over there. And finds death at the hands of the shotgun. Reaps another kill from a similar spot. Doing so much work himself to open up the floor and then gunning you down with that C8. SAS shotguns here. Suzu drags over to kill out Turdsta. Cyclops still trailing numbers, though. 1 minute to go for Bleed to corral their players and get them over towards the bomb site.
I appreciate what Turdsta's doing to flank there, but wait for your teams to get ready for this execute first because they got vertical control, hatch open up, breach open up, and now they lost that backside pressure. The players on the attack are very much spread out. Memphis in the breach smoked off, they're going to go for it. Down the hatch they go.
Mentalist just living through that gas. Suzu will need to go in to try and stop it as Mentalist attempting the plant. Reap's doing a lot of damage, but it's Asfi to get the last 2. And Bleed moved to 1 round away from phase 2.
And all it took was a tactical timeout. Their coach with some input said, guys, this is the problem. Fix this and don't worry about the rest. And they've looked so much better since round number 8 after they lost in that round. And now Cyclops, they are down bad. They're facing match point and they will call a very late tactical timeout of their own. They got to win 2 in a row just to take us to overtime and then win the following 2 of 3 rounds to take this map and take the series. CAG, we've said it many times, I'll say it one more time. They usually make every single event since 2021 SI, every major, every SI itself, but they usually exit in the first or second phase, so to speak, so top 20 to top 16 area. Sometimes they make it a little bit further, but usually they don't, and this would be that same kind of story for them. Whereas for Bleed, first international showcasing from them, they've had a great time domestically. They've gotten first place in stage 1, although didn't do so good in LCQ. Then they got first spot in stage 2, and actually made it all the way here through LCQ this time. Of course, beat CAG in the very first game, the very first day yesterday on Consulate. Now they find themselves here. They did lose against Lowe's earlier today on Nighthaven Labs. It was not the prettiest showcasing from Bleed, but they've seemingly fixed things in the interim. That small downtime between maps, or games should I say, about an hour and a half to 2 hours. A lot can happen. A team talk, a pep talk, some motivational speeches, and of course some strats being discussed, the change in maps that you play. And that's 7-0 on Cafe just a few, 30 or so minutes ago. That's really what got them into this position in the first place. Now just 1 round could be the difference maker between them going into this phase 2 of the major. Basement bomb side again, attempted from CAG. Last time was that opening pick and Turks from the backside that started things off hot for them. But Reaps, 2 kills in the mid round on block. That vertical destruction is what sealed the deal.
Well, Cyclops finds themselves on the razor's edge. One thing cannot be argued: if this is the end of the road for the Japanese squad, they went out a lot better than they started.
That's true.
7-3 scoreline is not exactly the debut that CAG wanted. They've lost Black Ray now. That's where things get really troubling. Black Ray as a player has been able to take over games so far in the play-ins, but won't have much influence for the remaining 2:30 of this round.
Pretty much snowball as well. I mean, if this happens and I'm on the roster, like, guys, you feel that pressure, like it's slipping away, right? You lose that first member. So now I could imagine Cyclops. There's two things that can happen. Either they play far back or they play far forward, but a C4 gets the job done. And that's Buck, the most vital player on this attack in bomb site to deal with. Vertical destruction mostly gone now. It's only Asp that's secondary shotgun and Gridlock with the only soft destruction because Turd on IQ, he actually has a Claymore instead of soft breaching charges.
2 Claymores, actually, as Mentalist, or well, 2 sets, rather, as Mentalist had some available as well. With the Gridlock, there's lots of anti-flank potential there, some more destructive than others. Good use of a Nitro Cell, though. Suzu picking up another kill early on. Half the round on in. Soft destruction needing to be done through those DMRs, which were buffed a while back, that allow you to open up the hatches and do more with them. Which is a nice change.
Yeah, in this round in particular. And again, Gridlock secondary shotgun, so much LA being had.
You said earlier. I feel so good.
Yeah, you feel validated. You're right. Because
I feel absolutely validated. There's no denying that.
Sledge Bach? No. Bach and Gridlock. That's the duo these days. And you see right here, it's not pretty and it's not quick, but it gets the job done.
Suzu doesn't have access to a Nitro Cell. It was used early on, but there's still one in the pocket of Arcully. Where it will get employed, I imagine you're going to save it for the post plant, because if you look, Cyclops is absent an operator to deal with the post plant. There's no Maestro, there's no Tachanka, there's no Smoke as your main culprits. So now instead, you're going to rely on Arcully to do that. He needs to live up to that point. Down goes Mentalist. Suzu firing back. Turnstone to walk on up. Hoven falls as well. Turnstone with 1 kill. He's the last one left. Huge round from Suzu. To keep themselves alive, they just need to stop Turd Stuff from getting out of this position over by Yellow. He hears footsteps above. Has to be worried about the same floor. And Suzu with a 4K. CAG still in this match.
Yeah, so one team of Bleed, 1 round away from going to phase 2, and CAG 1 round away from getting themselves into overtime. Some of the most important rounds right now this tournament for both these two teams. Well, the most important rounds, should I say. Now the difficult choice comes to CAG. What bomb site do you go to? They lost the previous on basement, then they won it. So everything is open but basement bomb site. They can go piano, they can go Telos Archives, they can go top floor as well. But they've only found success downstairs, really. So it's a tough decision to make. They go for lobby. Of course, they can spread themselves out quite thin here. Start top floor, fall back to first floor. They can play a C4 in basement. They play that same similar lineup. Yellow of Chibisu is stable for lobby. And it just gives them, again, more intel on where the entries from the attackers might be coming from. Those Grismod mines might not get you kills, but they do give you a ton of intel if any attackers trigger them. And when Hoven's going back onto Nuke as he currently is, that could be the difference maker. Because if Hoven finds a gap somewhere and thinks it's clear, walks in, bam, Grismod mine, all of a sudden he can't see, he can't hear. He might just get found by one of the defending players. Turdsta is going to go into Brava in the last few seconds to attack a repick, and if you can find some utility here, Grismod mines from the Fenrir, the Grismod mines from the Ella, you can maybe ground Hoven away into the bomb site here. That could also be a way for them. Anitin, bit of a silent killing here, 15 kills to his name. Didn't quite realize that till now. Of course, Hoven for Blade staying on 12. There's the 2 top gunners for both of these 2 teams respectively.
I expect overtime in this 3rd map.
Gonna go all the way, yeah?
We're going all the way, Dez!
They did go all the way earlier in their game.
They did.
I'm not gonna spoil what happened, but it was a banger.
Both the Bliss and SSG match and the G2 DZ match that we were treated to earlier were both spectacles, and this one has been quite lopsided in the maps that were won. Obviously, Border was won 7-4 by CAG, then a 7-0 on Cafe. Now we're looking at what could be a 7-5 or into OT we go. Heartbreak for CAG would be if they win this round and then ultimately choke it in overtime.
All that effort and work just to lose in overtime anyway. Suzu and Reaps, they're about to fight it out. Who gets the opening kill? Again, this could be the final round, or at least what takes it into overtime.
Reaps will lose his vision, but for a moment, hopefully not his head. Suzu's bullets and impact will do some serious damage. Hoven not too far off as well. really battling that Dread Mine. Blackling eliminating Mentalist. As Bleed's entry is falling apart. Asphy down by a grenade. His own grenade. Reaps is there to do some serious damage. Right now by Long Desk, still in this spot. Asphy will need to be recovered. Hoven and Reaps, worse for wear, but ultimately this whole team is wearing it well at the moment.
Asphy, I mean, he's crawling for help.
Crawling as best as he can. Flash grenade to go! Nitro Cell connects! Could have taken out Reaps as well. Anaton and R. Kelly on the board for those kills. It's Hoven to get one onto Black Ray. Numbers still close enough. This is very easily a Bleed and Cyclops round. Neither of these teams with a distinct advantage at the moment, but I am a little worried about the HP on the left side of Bleed.
Yeah, I feel that as well. Reeves, I mean, he's usually the playmaker, but it's got to be Hoven in this round. He's got the nuke, got that surprise factor, but he's still got the Fenrir gadget, the Griswold mines as well. So all of a sudden, you might think it's clear, but it's not. But he's in. Gotta go for the plant.
Better hope for Hoven to be able to cover this now as you've lost some of your vision. Hoven from above to just deny the time. Reaps gets away with it. He'll have to clutch out. 2 more kills to be found. In this position now, he'll relocate over towards the closet. Reaps sees the tracers. You've got to fight from both angles. This is a really bad spot for Reaps, but he'll hop out. A possible rotate over towards the window, vaulting on in. Anaton's going to stick it. You have to hurry, Reaps! No, he doesn't get there. Cyclops stays alive, and overtime is on the board.
Oh man, Reeves was in such a tough position inside the closet, had no way out. And I mean, the second he jumps out the window, you think, okay, he's gonna make for a big rotate all the way. No, it's not gonna happen. The cover is there for CAG. A beautiful top floor retake. They read the situation perfectly, and they get themselves into overtime. Now, it's a best of 3, but in terms of rounds. Which side these two teams start on, they will play 2 of the 3 rounds if they go the distance. It's going to be Bleed starting on attack and Cyclops on defense. And looking at how this goes for both teams, they've both won 4 defensive rounds and 3 attacking rounds. So a pretty even situation here, but it has been defense coming out slightly ahead. Anaton now, 17 kills. An incredible performance right now, keeping his team alive in this. They're going to go back downstairs to the base and bomb side, where they've had the most defensive success so far. Mirror being brought out Kite this time, trying to do some electro shuffle in the main wall. And if you can't deny that main breach of Mentalist, that is going to make the entries a lot more difficult, because that's always been the way in for Bleed. They get the main breach open very early on, and then in the late round they will throw out the smokes, walk on in, and try and get down that diffuser. So Susu, if he can trick the wall successfully, could make Mentalist and Bleed's life a lot more difficult in the late stage of the round.
Well, I'm glad that you and I finally get a nice overtime at the best of 3 to go off of. Bleed will waste no time, though, going back to the same position they were on. That's never really a bad thing, but Asphy dying early is very definitely a bad thing. And Anaton uses the Nitro Cell before losing his head to Reaps. That's 18 kills for Anaton, by the way. In what is inarguably the main reason for CAG's success.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't go 18 kills on Anaton and nobody else steps up, this is not a 6-6 game. And that's the thing, I mean, individual plays can get you very far, but ultimately, you need the team to work together. So Anaton, he trades 1 for 1, again, taking down the Gridlock, a pretty valuable operator. But his teammates now on the 4v4, they gotta be the better team, if you will. The kill was also very close to both sides. No one besides Hoven and Anaton are like leading up with a ton of kills here. Half the round to go still, and Chibisu and the rest of Cyclops are still rotating around saying, okay, first 4, don't gotta worry about it so much. C4 goes out, doesn't find anything, and of course this time Reaps and Buck still alive, destroy the floor, Kitehawk gets destroyed, they can get that breach opened up.
Again, a very even scoreline for this Bleed squad, as they've got 3 players over double digits. Nobody really running away with it, though Hoven has been the standout when it comes to kills, and also has been playing very utility-heavy operators. Was great on Nook in the previous round. Now, got DMR to cut through the floor. You got a Ram, mostly, to do that work, though. It's all the boogies from turrets to have been used. That floor, completely gone. That means that the ceiling is gone as well, putting Cyclops in a bit of an uncomfortable position. Now Hoven will go for this split push yet again. flash out. Buy himself some time as he just runs on through. This is a smart play. Turns to down. CAG winning these duels. The numbers keep going so well for them. Now it's Chibi-Su to eliminate Hoven. Only 2 remain for Bleed. A standoff where they're outnumbered 2-1 by Cyclops.
Yeah, this team playing far back. I mean, you gotta walk through the store, but then you met with a crossfire. He sees the mirror, gets it, 2v3. Maybe he could go for a plant. Who knows? If Reeps is not there for cover, he's gonna go for the backside instead.
Creeping on down. Chibi-Su with the pre-fire. How does Reeps win that one? Could be another player not too far away. Reeps will try for the flash with very little time to go. Here's the issue. If Metalist is going to go for the plant, Reeps absolutely has to cover, because if not, it's doomed for Bleed, but Reeps gets a 4K to move Bleed to match point.
We said Anderton was keeping CAG in this game, but Reeps has really stepped up, and Hohen said in in-game chat right now, he's the GOAT. Out of nowhere. And the thing is, the thing that Cyclops is doing so well, they're always playing around the Fenrir gadgetry. Every single time someone's going for a flank, for a backstab, for an entry, they're always nearsighted by the Fenrir mine, so they can't see very far. And somehow, despite all that, Reap still finds 3 kills in the late stages of that round to end the opening kill trade onto Aniton. The block play really paying off on all sides. And now, how overtime works, you swap side every single round. Bleed attacked the previous one, now they'll go on defense. Back-to-back basements, bomb sites. And if you're in overtime, you know, you played a lot of rounds on both sides now, bringing out something new, something spicy, can be that surprising factor that you need. We saw Cyclops go for some fast takes on border, as did Bleed themselves. On Cafe, it was mostly pretty standard stuff from both sides. We have not seen much of that craziness, like chaos, happening on Consulate. So seeing the glass now, will he commit to it? Yep, 2 seconds left. Aniton will lock in the glass. Black Ray changes the Dokubi. They have 2 sets of smokes, as Susu on the Thermite will bring a second set as well. So Aniton, on 18 kills, is going to get the opera that everybody's going to play around. They're going to breach the wall for Aniton. They're going to smoke for Aniton. They're going to support Aniton. And if he can hit his shots and find those openings, he can win this round for his team and take it to 7-7. First, you got to open up that wall. Nothing really stands in their way, except that it's already kind of been opened up, and Mirren was put there and then popped by the defensive side. They can actually impact trick through that, but they don't have any impacts. But they have 3 C4s, so good shots out of C4 if they wanted to.
It's something you don't see every day on this map.
No, you don't.
Reminds me a lot of when Na'Vi used to do that on the triple panel. They'd leave one of those soft, and then they'd actively fight you, but...
Yeah, and I mean, as I said, like, you could impact trick through the mirror window, but they don't have any. But Reeves has not stopped the killing yet. He gets another one, 14 to his name now. So lethal on the roam, a Black Ray stripes back. That smoke removed from action, a very vital plant and operator from the side of Bleed.
Well, so far, both of these teams immediately hopping onto Garage as your very first bomb site. It's anybody's game at the moment. There go the smokes, and Aniton will try to leverage that concealment for a pick, losing out of the Nitro cell, and it's a bit of a mistake. As down goes Suzu, Black Ray is gone now as well. Bleed looking to close this out, 2 more to be found to send Cyclops back home. Aniton has been so phenomenal, but you can't always do it yourself. At this point, it's just up to him and Chibi-Su. That's it, Mentalist will call from the sidelines. Plenty of time to go, but you're now going to rely on Bleed committing mistakes. You're going to rely on them over peeking. So you don't have a ton of time. You only have 3 drones remaining, only one of which is actually usable, and that's Chibi-Su's. So you're going to be doing this largely without intel. You don't have any smokes left. You got 1 grenade, you got Adrenal Surges, that's it.
And you got Mentalist, your captain, your IGL, the oldest, most experienced player on the roster who's in the grave. He's saying, guys, sit back. I'm holding cameras. I'll give you information, when to swing, what to do. Just don't move a muscle. Don't overexpose yourself. And you see them. They're waiting. They've let go of their keyboard. No one is moving an inch because they recognize they don't have to.
Great patience from Bleed. Chibi-Su will need to get into position from above. That's exactly what he's doing as he finds one of those 2 mines and now is trying to pop a mirror window to make things a little bit easier for Aniton. Oh my. Game on the line for Cyclops. I can only imagine the pressure that's on their shoulders right now. 2 kills away from this. 1 kill remaining. Reeps with all 4. Hoven saying the GG in chat. And it's Turnstone to steal the ace, but it doesn't matter. Bleed, move to phase 2. We wave goodbye to CAG.